Have you ever woken up with that familiar dull ache in your lower back? Again, you stretch, maybe take a pill, brush it off as just age, and go about your day. But what if I told you that persistent back pain after 60 isn't just a mechanical issue, it could be your body whispering a far deeper message? Hi, I'm Dr. Benjamin Cross. For 39 years, I've listened to the stories of thousands of older men in clinics, at kitchen tables, even at bedside. And again, I've seen the same hidden pattern, that nagging back pain. It often appears when a man's hormonal fire begins to flicker out. Yes, that fire, the drive, stamina, clarity, and quiet confidence you once carried. Testosterone, circulation, and nerve health all play together like a symphony. And when one instrument falters, the whole system starts to wobble. Here's what most don't know. Lower back pain in aging men is often a symptom, not the source. It can reflect deeper issues in blood flow, nerve vitality, and yes, declining testosterone. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness, because once you see the full picture, you can finally stop chasing symptoms and start restoring your strength from the inside out. Stick with me. Let me show you what your body's really trying to tell you and how to reclaim the vitality you thought was gone for good. Let's walk a little further into this together. I remember a patient of mine, Harold, 67, retired auto mechanic, proud grandfather of 5. He came into my office one afternoon, moving a little slower than usual, rubbing his lower back like he always did. He joked, "Doc, I think my spine's mad at me for all those years under the hood." But when I looked closer, not just at the pain, but at his lab work, his posture, even the spark in his eyes, I could see what was really going on. It wasn't just mechanical wear and tear. Harold's body had begun to dim on the inside. His testosterone was low. His circulation was sluggish. He had started sleeping lighter, eating heavier, and moving less. And it wasn't because he was lazy, it was because his engine was running on fumes. Now, let me ask you this. Have you felt yourself slowing down lately, but can't quite explain why? You might not say it out loud, but maybe you felt a little foggier upstairs. Maybe you're not as quick with your words, or you feel more tired after a short walk than you used to. Maybe you've chalked it all up to aging, and yes, age is a factor, but it's not the full story. Back pain isn't just a physical nuisance. In many cases, especially in older men, it's like a blinking dashboard light, a signal that your body's inner systems are misfiring. That fire I keep talking about? It's real, and it's made up of 3 key forces: muscle strength, hormone health, and blood flow. When even one of these weakens, your back, the central axis of your body, often takes the hit. And no, this isn't just some abstract theory. The spine is surrounded by muscles, veins, nerves, and when testosterone dips, those muscles begin to lose tone. When circulation struggles, those nerves get less oxygen. The result? A back that starts aching more often, healing more slowly, and quietly dragging down your energy. Let me give you another angle to think about. When's the last time you felt solid in your body? I mean that grounded, steady feeling, like you're standing on strong legs, clear in your thoughts, centered in your chest. Many men over 60 lose that not just because of aging bones, but because the internal signals that kept everything coordinated, hormones, neurotransmitters, blood flow, have started misfiring. And that's when the pain begins. But here's what's frustrating. Most doctors don't talk about this. They'll give you a back brace, or send you to a chiropractor, or worse, hand you pain meds that only numb the signal. But they don't tell you why the signal's there in the first place. I've had heart-to-hearts with hundreds of men, and what I've learnt is this. The moment they understand the real reason behind their discomfort, they stop seeing themselves as broken and start seeing themselves as fixable. Because guess what? You're not broken. Your body isn't betraying you. It's just asking for help, the right kind of help. And no, it's not about turning back the clock or chasing some unrealistic version of your 5-year-old self. It's about supporting your system so that it works better today, tomorrow, and next year. I've seen men go from stiff, tired, and grumpy to steady, vibrant, and optimistic, and they didn't do it by ignoring the signs, they did it by tuning in. That's the secret. It's not about pushing harder, it's about listening better. So, next time you feel that tight pull in your back, don't just stretch it out. Ask yourself, what else is going on in me right now? How's my sleep? Do I wake up feeling rested or drained? Am I thinking clearly? Do I still have that inner oomph? Because all those threads are woven into the same fabric. And if you start pulling gently on just one of them, adjusting your daily movement, cleaning up your evening habits, supporting your testosterone, naturally the rest can begin to realign. In the next part, I'll walk you through exactly why all of this tends to happen after 60. And once you understand that, I promise the way you see your back pain and your whole body might shift forever. But for now, I want to leave you with this. Your pain is not a punishment, it's a signal. And signals don't show up to hurt you, they show up to guide you. So, are you ready to follow it? Let's go a little deeper now. If you're over 60 or somewhere close, you've probably noticed this unspoken truth. Your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. A night of bad sleep feels like 2. A small injury lingers longer. And that fire, the one we talked about earlier, it just doesn't roar like it once did. But why does this happen after 60? What is it about this particular decade of life that seems to tilt the scales? Here's what I've learned after nearly 4 decades in medicine, and after listening, really listening, to the stories men tell when they feel safe enough to speak honestly. Around age 60, 3 major shifts happen in the male body. Not all at once, and not the same for everyone, but they show up like old friends who forgot to knock. The first is hormonal decline, especially testosterone. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, here we go again, another testosterone lecture, just hear me out. This isn't about turning into some overly muscled 30-year-old again. It's about understanding that testosterone is more than a manhood hormone. It affects everything from muscle repair to mental clarity to the way your body handles pain. After 60, testosterone drops more sharply. That means your muscles recover slower, including the ones that support your spine. That means inflammation lingers longer, and your pain threshold shifts. Even your brain's ability to cope with discomfort, that resilience you once had, can get worn down. The second shift? Blood flow. Good circulation is like good plumbing. When it works, you barely notice it. When it slows down, everything backs up. Poor circulation means your lower back, one of the most vascular areas in your body, doesn't get enough oxygen or nutrients. That's a recipe for chronic pain, fatigue, and sluggish healing. And if you've been sitting more often, moving less, or eating the standard American diet, you know the one: too much sugar, too little fiber, your blood vessels may be silently narrowing. You won't feel it right away, but the damage adds up. The third shift is more subtle, but maybe the most powerful. It's what I call neurological noise. See, your nervous system, the way your brain talks to your body, gets less efficient with age. Not broken, just a little slower, more static in the line. After 60, small miscommunications start happening between your spine, your nerves, your muscles. You bend down to pick up something, and suddenly your back seizes. Why? Because your nerves didn't coordinate that movement as smoothly as they used to. The reflex is slowed, the muscles overcompensated. And boom, you're stuck on the couch with a heating pad. It's not just about being older. It's about these layered, silent shifts, hormonal, circulatory, neurological, that change how your body feels and functions day to day. Now here's a question I want you to sit with. If these changes are natural, does that mean they're unavoidable? The answer is, not entirely. Yes, aging is real. Biology is real. But so is something called biological flexibility. I've seen 6 5-year-olds with better blood markers than 4 5-year-olds. I've seen men in their 70s lift weights, hike mountains, chase grandkids, not because they denied aging, but because they adapted to it. They worked with their biology, not against it. And it all starts with awareness, with asking better questions, with realizing that back pain, especially recurring or mysterious pain, isn't just a back issue. It's often a signal that your hormones, your blood, and your nervous system are falling out of sync. So, what does that mean for you? It means there's still a lot within your control. You don't need to accept stiffness and soreness as your new normal. You don't need to fear aging. What you do need is a new lens, one that looks at pain not as a dead end, but as an invitation. Your body isn't giving up on you, it's giving you a chance to pay attention. When you start supporting testosterone naturally, when you move in a way that boosts circulation, not just burns calories, when you give your nervous system the right kind of rest and nourishment, everything starts to shift. I've seen men go from dragging themselves into my office to walking out with their shoulders back and their voices steadier, not because we gave them magic, but because we showed them what was really going on and how to work with it. In the next part, I'm going to walk you through exactly what can happen if this goes unchecked, not to scare you but to show you the real stakes, because ignoring these signals isn't just about back pain. It's about your brain, your independence, your life force. But for now, I'll leave you with this. Back pain after 60 isn't just wear and tear, it's a whisper from your deeper biology. One that says, hey, something's out of balance, and the sooner you listen, the easier it is to bring things back into harmony. Are you listening? Let's talk about what happens if you ignore it. The back pain, the fatigue, the foggy thoughts, that slow, steady draining of something you can't quite name but you feel it. What if you just keep pushing through? Because that's what most men do. Not out of laziness, not out of ignorance, but because we're wired that way. We're taught to be tough, to tolerate discomfort, to say, it's fine, I'll deal with it later. But here's the quiet truth I've seen too many times. Later always comes. And when it does, it costs more. Let me share a story. A man named Joe came to see me a few years ago. He was 64, a retired firefighter, proud, stoic, sharp as a tack. But behind the jokes and small talk, I could see something in his eyes, frustration, maybe even fear. He told me about his back pain, how it had started as a tightness, then turned into a stiffness, then into something that made him dread getting out of bed. I used to carry people out of burning buildings, he said. Now I wince just tying my shoes. But that wasn't the worst part. What really scared him was how his mind had started to fade. Words didn't come as quickly. He'd lose his train of thought. He felt less motivated, less himself. And here's the thing, all of it was connected. Back pain is rarely just about the back. When left unaddressed, it sets off a slow chain reaction. First, you move less because it hurts. That means your circulation slows, your muscles shrink, and your metabolism weakens. Then your posture changes subtly at first, but poor posture compresses your lungs and digestive system. You start breathing shallower, digesting slower, sleeping worse. And when sleep suffers, so does your brain. Memory, focus, mood. You feel more irritable, less resilient, less like the man you once were. Now, here's where it gets heavier, and this part is hard for many men to hear. If left untreated, chronic pain combined with low testosterone and poor circulation can increase your risk for serious issues like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, depression, and even neurodegenerative decline. And it sneaks up on you, not in one dramatic moment, but in the quiet erosion of daily vitality. You miss a few steps on the stairs, you start skipping social gatherings, you stop doing the little things that made life feel rich. And one day you look in the mirror and wonder, when did I start settling for this version of me? But I want to be clear, this is not a message of doom. This isn't about guilt or fear. This is a gentle wake-up call from someone who's walked this path with thousands of men. Because here's the good news. The earlier you catch it, the easier it is to turn around. I've seen men in their 60-second reverse years of stiffness and fatigue, not through surgery or meds, but by making real, steady changes to how they move, eat, sleep, and support their hormones. You don't have to wait until things break. You can start now, with small shifts, even 1 or 2, that begin to restore the balance from the inside out. Ask yourself, what would change in my life if my back stopped hurting? If I felt clear again? If I had the stamina I used to? Would you travel again? Start that project? Play longer with the grandkids? That's what's on the line here. This isn't just about pain, it's about freedom. So, what happens if you ignore it? You risk becoming a smaller version of yourself, not because of age, but because of avoidance. And what happens if you don't ignore it? You begin the slow, powerful process of reclaiming who you are, not the man you used to be, but the one you still can become. So now that we've walked through the why, let's talk about the how. How do you actually start fixing this? How do you go from living with nagging back pain, foggy mornings, and fading drive to waking up feeling strong, clear, and like yourself again? First, I'll tell you what doesn't work chasing quick fixes. Most of the men I've worked with didn't get better by popping another painkiller or signing up for a flashy workout plan they couldn't stick to. They got better by building a new foundation, slowly, intentionally, brick by brick. And it starts with something I call the core reset. I don't mean six-pack abs. I'm talking about your true core, the invisible center of your physical, hormonal, and nervous systems. When that center is supported, everything improves. Here's how to begin 5 key shifts that work together to restore your fire. 1. Breathe like it matters. Sounds simple, but it's where I always start. Most men over 60 have unknowingly become shallow breathers, chest breathers. And shallow breathing keeps your nervous system stuck in stress mode while starving your spine and muscles of oxygen. Try this. Once a day, lie on your back, place one hand on your belly and one on your chest. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Let your belly rise. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Do that for 5 minutes. You're not just relaxing, you're recalibrating your nervous system and improving circulation to your lower back. 2. Fuel the fire with the right foods. Your hormones are built from the raw materials you feed your body. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to sugar, processed oils, and alcohol. These things inflame your gut and crash your testosterone. Instead, focus on healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, and nuts, great for hormone support, protein with every meal to support muscle repair, dark leafy greens and colorful veggies for circulation and gut health. Even a 10% improvement in your food choices can create a noticeable shift in energy and mood. 3. Move like you're rebuilding, not punishing. I always tell my patients, you don't need to move more, you need to move smarter. Forget about punishing workouts. Your goal is to activate, not annihilate. Simple bodyweight exercises, bridges, planks, slow squats done with good form a few times a week can reactivate your glutes, strengthen your core, and take pressure off your spine. And if you're walking, fantastic. Add 1 extra block, or walk barefoot on grass once a week. That alone resets your posture and calms your nerves. 4. Reignite testosterone naturally. Yes, you can improve your testosterone without shots or risky supplements. It starts with sleep 7 to 8 hours consistently, no screens an hour before bed. Sunlight, 15 minutes of morning sun to boost vitamin D, a hormone precursor. Zinc and magnesium often low in men over 60, but vital for hormone production. You can also try short bursts of strength training, like 20 minutes, twice a week, and cutting back on alcohol, which quietly suppresses testosterone over time. It's not about becoming superhuman, it's about getting your baseline back so your body can recover, rebuild, and feel alive again. 5. Create a ritual that grounds you. This might sound soft, but hear me out. I've seen more men change their health by changing their daily rhythm than by any supplement. It could be a morning stretch with music, a 5-minute meditation, a short walk with no phone, something small that tells your body, I'm still in the game, I still care. Because the body listens. When you treat it with intention, it responds. So, here's the truth most men don't hear enough. You are not too far gone. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to begin with one habit, one small act of rebellion against decline. And yes, the first week might feel awkward. The second week, a little easier. And by week 3, you'll start noticing small changes, better sleep, steadier energy, less tightness in your back. These aren't miracles, they're momentum. And momentum is how men rebuild themselves. You've been strong before. You still are. You just need to light the fire again from within. In the final part, I'll tie it all together. We'll revisit what matters most, and I'll leave you with a message I hope stays with you long after this video ends. But for now, ask yourself, what's one small thing I can start doing today? that future me will thank me for. Let's slow it down for a moment. After everything we've explored, the root causes, the silent signals, the risks of ignoring the pain, and the small, steady steps to reclaim your vitality, I want to bring it all home. Because this isn't just about back pain anymore, is it? It's about something deeper, something most men don't often speak about, but feel every day. That quiet sense of drift, of losing a bit of yourself. Not because you stopped caring, but because life got noisy, your body got quieter, and the fire inside started to fade without you even noticing. So, let's tie this together. If you've been feeling stuck in your body, tired, sore, heavier in places, slower in others, you're not alone. This isn't weakness. It's a message, one that says, your systems are tired, not broken, just out of rhythm. That dull ache in your lower back? It's not just age, it's often poor circulation. It's lowered testosterone. It's your nervous system yelling louder because the whispers were missed. But that's not the end of your story, not even close. Here's what I want you to hold on to. Blood flow is life. When you move your body, stretch your spine, breathe deeper, your blood carries oxygen, nutrients, vitality back to your cells, especially to the areas that have been neglected. Testosterone isn't about manhood, it's about drive. It keeps your bones strong, your brain sharp, and your mood steady. And yes, it can be naturally supported, no matter your age. The nervous system, it's the command center. When you're always in fight or flight, healing can't happen. But when you bring stillness into your day, even just a few minutes, your body remembers how to rest, repair, and rebuild. You don't need to change everything overnight. In fact, you shouldn't. Start with what feels doable. That might mean stretching while your coffee brews, swapping one meal for something less processed, or walking a few extra blocks each week. These aren't tiny changes, they're turning points. And here's the deeper truth. Most men don't fail because they're weak, they falter because they forget to listen. Your body knows what it needs. It's been whispering for years. Maybe now, you're finally ready to hear it. So what's the takeaway? You can change your story, not through force, but through awareness, through small acts of self-respect, through remembering that you still belong to yourself. This is the beginning of a different kind of strength. Not loud, not flashy, but steady, grounded, yours. And it's not too late. Not to walk taller, not to feel clearer, not to reconnect with that quiet, unshakable fire inside you. So I'll ask you, man to man, human to human, what are you willing to start doing today to bring your fire back? It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. Let's take a breath together. We've talked about a lot today, not just back pain, but what it really means. The quiet signals your body's been sending. The fire that dims not all at once, but over time. And, most importantly, the ways you can begin to reignite it. So here's what I want you to remember. Your blood flow, it can move better. Your hormones, they can find balance again. Your nervous system, it can calm and reset. Your back, it can stop hurting not just because of medicine, but because of renewed strength from within. You are not broken. You are not too late. Your body isn't failing, it's simply waiting for the right kind of support. And maybe for the first time in a while, you're ready to listen. Start small, start simple, drink the water, breathe deeper, stretch in the morning. And if something in this message sparked a truth in you, even just a flicker, hold on to it. Because you deserve to feel alive again, strong again. You deserve to feel like yourself again. And if you found this message helpful, if it's spoken to something deeper inside you, I invite you to stay with us. Subscribe to the channel. Sit here with Teenager, where we sit with hard truths, simple wisdom, and honest stories, not to lecture, but to remind you you're still in the game. And your fire? It's still there, waiting for you to tend to it. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.